today on the Becoming Unique podcast, I have such a beautiful guest by the name of Angela. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. I am so excited to talk to you today. But before we start chatting, you got to let everyone know who is Angela.
Who is Angela? Um, I would say um, uh, a health coach and personal trainer who cares a lot about a new concept, what women basically don't like to hear, and they need to hear it. And because of my own story, what happened was that as a teenager, well, college, you know how it goes, you gain a lot of weight, yada yada. What I did every diet on this planet. I bounced up and down, the typical yo-yo, until I totally went crazy. I slid down a bad way and I developed an eating disorder. I refused to eat. I overexercised. Like this was in my early 20s until I literally had so many health issues that I couldn't go on anymore.
Mm.
And it was painful. And there was a lot of like emotional stuff going on as well. And the body just followed that path. And I was left with basically like no muscle, no nothing. I screwed up my metabolism. I had, like I said, almost everything was off in my blood work. Anyway, I had to do something, and I turned basically like I put a hard stop on all of this craziness, and I started getting a nutrition degree, started to work out with more guidance, and I got really good at it. And for me, it was also an outlet because my relationship was not the best at the time. And again, if you're not authentic and if you don't live the truth, and if you just pretend and do what everybody else expects you from you to do, you can't do it for a very long time.
Mhm.
So again, I hit a wall, and this time I decided to go to the States to learn English.
Mm.
And yeah, so I'm
So where were
originally
you located before?
Germany.
Germany.
hmm
Nice.
hmm
Hmm.
So I grew up in Germany, yeah.
Hmm.
And so I went to a regular university to learn English as a second language. I did that, enjoyed it so much. I fell in love with the States, wanted to stay. And again, no way, again, a roadblock. You can't stay. There is no way. I got into an internship in a bank because it was my degree. I was a banker. I was in finance
Okay.
because that's what you're told to do.
Mhm.
Like back in the days, you became either a teacher, a nurse, or a secretary or something. You know,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of options. And I
Mhm.
chose to be a banker. So anyway, again, I'm like, it's impossible. I'm meant to be here. I want to be here. What are the options? And I remember my immigration lawyer told me, well, you don't have any special skills. You can't stay as a banker. You won't get a work visa. It not gonna happen. I said, well, I don't have any special skills in banking, but I can lift weights really, really well. And she's like, well, if you can get a world champion title for the United States, you can stay. Exactly. I'm like,
A world champion in lifting weights.
in bodybuilding.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm. Okay, that's what I said. Okay, that's a stretch.
Hmm.
That's a stretch. Okay. So what I did, I had almost like a tunnel vision. This was my only chance. So I'm like, okay, let's see what I'm capable of. Like, what can I really do if I focus, if I want to go as far as I can. So I was really good at dieting, really good at working out. I pulled out my old plans, what I did in Germany. I prepped myself for Miss Florida. I won Miss Florida, got qualified for Team USA, went to Los Angeles, competed at the Miss USA, won Miss USA, which was for me a dream come true. Like, what is happening right now? And but when you are in sync and when you have that flow and the mind is there, like this is when you have it, like I said, we are in the flow when you're doing what you meant to do, everything falls into the right, like into the place. Like it's just amazing. So then I was qualified for Miss Universe, and I'm like, okay, I'm
Mhm.
doing this now. So I competed at the Miss Universe. I represented the United States. Yeah, and I won Miss Universe. So
Wow, you was in flow state.
a flow state, I'm telling you. And the funny thing is, of this whole experience, everybody's asked me, wasn't that the happiest moment in your life? And
Mhm,
to be honest with you, I felt relief. I was not the happiest I was during that journey, seeing me change, improving, being able to have like I said, my routine with the diet, with my workouts, seeing my body change, my it's interesting too how my schedule and my routine helped me to be more focused and actually more grounded emotionally. Like I had this peace around me because I knew what I was doing and I saw results. And
mhm.
that gave me so much more power in so many other aspects of my life. It was just amazing. And yeah, after I won Miss Universe, I was just relieved, truly.
Mhm.
And then I changed career. I'm like, okay, I'm done with being a banker. I'm going to be a personal trainer because this is what I truly, truly love to do and where I'm truly good at it. And I can help so many more people by training them and helping them reaching their health goals. And I know that like this is what I breathe. This is what I do. And so I started personal training and it grew from there. I always educate myself. I just finished a course in hormone health for
Mhm.
women. I do health coaching. I dive deep into the nutrition part of it, and yeah, I help women to get ready for their wedding. I help women actually if they shed a lot of body weight. I help them to prep for their tummy tucks because they want to just
Yeah.
this all back to where it was. And
Mm,
we have to prep for that too. And then, of course, general health. Um, it's so important. So yeah, and especially for women, because they
mhm.
get it in a different way, and there is a lot of education necessary to get them on a health path.
Wow, you told me so much, so much, and it's so many powerful things you said. So, the most powerful thing that you said to me was that when they said, "Was that the happiest moment of your life?" and you realized it was more about the journey.
Mhm.
And that's the key because a lot of times we're chasing these goals. When I get here, I'll finally be happy. But the happiness is in the journey. And if we can be mindful to be present in these moments of the journey and know this is the moment. This is the moment. And so thank you for that reminder. Thank you so much. And it's so interesting how the United States allowed you to compete and you wasn't even a citizen. And to be, that's so interesting.
I
And
got my green card, excuse me, green card 4 weeks before the competition. So I
wow.
was official. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, okay, they was like, okay, you got something for us. That's so interesting.
Very, yeah, it's a unique story.
Yeah, you was and it's beautiful how it gave you a goal. You was like they was like, well, what can you offer for us? And you said I could lift weights, and you did it, and you did it not to just get the car, like you did it to the like top tier. Like what's bigger than Miss Universe?
Yeah.
Like that's great. That's crazy how you were like tunnel vision in the goal, and you was like, I want to be a citizen. It's gonna happen, and that's a reminder for all of us. No matter how hard the goal may seem, or when someone says it's not gonna happen, it's not realistic. Like if you put your mind to something, you will get in that flow state and you are living proof of what it is, because I'm sure it was plenty of whispers around you, letting you know, like, it's not going to happen.
Oh my goodness, yeah. If you ask me how many no's I heard. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like, uh, yeah, you have to really cut those voices out. And
Yeah.
what I realized too, when I prepped for that, like you said, this sounds like this huge goal. What I focused on was just that day. I got
Mm,
up in the morning and I said, okay, today I can do the diet and today I can do the workout. I
yeah.
just do it today. What I do tomorrow, I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I go out and eat pizza or something. I don't want to think about it, but today
Yeah.
I can do one day. And then I added another good day and another good day. And all of a sudden it was a string of good days. And I never thought of like, oh my gosh, this is a whole year of preparation.
Yeah.
It was like 10 months, but it would have been so overwhelming and I took it day by day. I really did like baby steps and that's
Yeah.
all I Mhm.
It's so important to have, to be in the very moment that you're in and not be thinking about, oh my goodness, I have a whole 10 more months of this to do. How am I going to do it? Because if we start thinking about the future, it's going to bring us so much anxiety. But if you think about the day ahead of you, you'd be like, I got this. I could go to the gym. I could eat this food. Like, I got this. Instead of like thinking about, how am I going to do this for 10 more months? And by you doing that, it became your lifestyle, or it was your
Absolutely.
lifestyle. And that's remembering just one day at a time and just taking it and just seeing it for that day. And that everything will reveal what it's supposed to be along the journey, as it
Right.
should be, So, even though it may not be what you think it's supposed to be, it will reveal the way it's supposed to be for you. So, so much that I got out of all of that. So, okay, so you're the woman to talk to, about being in the gym. And we hear muscle is important. So, because people may think, oh, I gotta go do cardio to go, drop the weight. I gotta do running, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But when it comes down to things, I hear that muscle is important, but I want the expert to let me know all why is the muscle important? What's going on with the muscle?
Okay. So yeah, muscle is actually the organ of longevity.
Mm.
Muscle is the organ of longevity. Why?
Mm-hmm.
The muscle, this is such an important tissue in your body because the muscle communicates with all the rest of it. The muscle gives you the information and we always adapt to what's going on. If you have healthy muscle tissue, meaning if you have a strong muscle, it communicates with your bones. So you are going to get strong bones.
Mm-hmm.
No process. If the muscle is healthy and it has a flux, it gets worked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Your metabolism is working. You have a total different digestion. It's always surprising to me, and I did the same thing, how women tend to reduce and reduce and reduce and eat less and less and really suffer because they don't have the good quality muscle, what actually needs the calories. You earn your calories by having a healthy muscle tissue, so your metabolism is much better. Same
Mm-hmm.
with cognitive function. If you have, again, a strong muscle, you have a strong mindset. You deal with stressful situation completely different. It's the communication. The stronger the muscle, the better you focus, the better your brain function is. The
Mm-hmm.
better the muscle is, the healthier the tissue, the better your hormones are going to work. If you have hormone imbalance, it's not the organ what produces the hormone the problem. It's usually that this woman is having not enough muscle or not good quality muscle. And
Mm-hmm.
this is another big problem. I'm not talking about, this is where women get a little scared. I'm not talking about building a buff body. I'm talking about really training and working the muscle to create a healthy, fit body. And
Hmm.
that's totally different. And trust me, it takes a lot of weight to put on muscle. You can lift really heavy until you see a change. So you can go all out. So and what you have to think about with muscle, this is a funny comparison, but you want to be a fillet steak. You don't want any marbled, fatty tissue in the muscle. You want to be the fillet steak. And the
Mhm.
fillet steak is a functional muscle what creates a flux. So calories go in, calories go out. There is something going on, always a repair. There is food needed. There is, like I said, healthy organs. It regulates it all. So
Mhm.
this is like the first step. If you have issues, always look first, are you having that in order? That's step
Mhm.
number one. And that's interesting too with weight loss. Women tend to look always at their body fat. And to be honest with you, if we step on the scale, we see a number or sometimes a body fat percentage, but that's the wrong way of looking at it because you want to have first the muscle and the muscle gets going, you reduce your body fat. You know what I'm saying? So we look at it the wrong way.
Mhm.
That's where I'm coming from. And it's not very time consuming, to be honest with you, to hit the muscle. You don't have to spend hours in the gym. It's not necessary, but be consistent. And if you can, do something daily
Mhm.
and work the body. It doesn't have to be, I mean, I know I did it too. Crazy cardio sessions. Oh my God. Hours on a Stairmaster or elliptical was my best friend. It was always the Stairmaster and me. I'm like, wow. But what I did was harming my body more than doing any good. And to be honest, if you work out 20 to 30 minutes efficient, every day, it's plenty to get going. And I'm
Mhm.
telling you, the more you do it and the better the results are, the more you fall in love, the more you want to do it. Trust me on that one. It's
Yeah.
you get better and better by just time. It needs time. Again, be patient, but yeah, it's not that you're, how can I say, like a slave to the gym. You can work out from home. You can, what what you want to do if you train a muscle or if you focus on the health aspect of it, always put it in your daily routine where you can guarantee that you do it. It has to fit into your lifestyle.
Mhm.
It can't be something where you dread it or you have to do like crazy effort to do something. You
Yeah.
won't do it. It has to be something what you say, okay, I can get this real quick in and I'm doing
Mhm.
it. That's the key.
Wow, you definitely schooled me. I know I could say I learned today. I learned because when I thought of strength training, I'm just thinking like, okay, toning the body, bringing, cleaning things up and stuff like that. But you told me, it's about your hormones, it's about your metabolism. And there's so many other layers to it, your bone health, than just saying, oh, the outside appearance of like, oh, I'm just going to get everything all toned up. And, I can definitely relate to what you were saying because I don't do any strength. Well, I need to do some strength training. I know I do. And my metabolism has definitely slowed down. I feel like a lot. I mean, I'm a 47-year-old woman. So I guess my hormones may be changed. I don't know, but I just know my metabolism slowed down. And I'm like, I'm like, this weight is just jumping, jumping, jumping. And I'm okay with it. I'm holding grace for it. But I'm like, wow, I'm barely eating. I'm eating clean, and the weight is still coming. Like, where is it coming from? But now that you said maybe my metabolism needs to get some strength training in it so it can start to bring some balance because I've just been like, I don't understand this weight. But anyway.
Well, this is a really good example because what happens if you don't strength train and you're not using the muscle, the receptors basically close up, meaning if you have a meal with carbs, you produce insulin, right? When you produce the insulin, that's basically the key to open up the muscle and get the carbs in. But this is clogged up and the key doesn't work anymore. So you're not diabetic. You're
Hmm.
producing insulin, but it hits a wall. It doesn't go anywhere because the muscle doesn't open up to get the carbs in. So what
Yeah.
happens? They're floating around, they spill over in the liver, and you gain body fat.
Yeah.
And it's the metabolism. It's nothing hormonal. Like the interesting thing is too, when you get started, it creates like this. At the beginning, nothing really happens, and you're like, "What's going on?" Because you're building muscle, but then all of a sudden it gets momentum,
Hmm.
and you get a healthy metabolism and you get the right size body. You get the body you want. So they're just benefits. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so you said, you only need to do like 20, 30 minutes of strength training if you understand properly what you're doing, get the right direction, I'm assuming, from people like you. um, but do you also suggest that someone gets cardio in there, or should they just have like, mix it up and have a variety of different things? Or should it just be like, oh, I just get my 20 minutes in every day, or I get my 20 minutes in 4 times a week? What are your suggestions around that?
Oh, this is a good question. Everybody's different. There is an individuality. So I wish I could pull out a piece of paper and say, this is the solution.
Yeah.
Um, there is not. But I like a mix. And it's also what you can handle. Like, for example, if you just love cardio, to be honest with you, some people just love to go run and
Yeah.
go to a spin class, meet their friends. Yeah, do it. It's so good for your heart. There are benefits to it as well. And having a really good mix is fantastic. Yoga, great, 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 great. But the priority should always be strength training first, but have a nice mix.
Mm,
And like I said, if you plan on doing something daily, maybe you strength train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Tuesday, Thursday, you do some cardio.
yeah.
Perfect. You know what I'm saying? The only thing, this is again, I did this so many times. I saw results and then I got really intense and crazy about it and I did too much. And you
Yeah.
burn your body out. And overtraining or stressing your system is not the key. You push yourself. Yeah, see what your body can do. The body loves to move and the body loves to be active. So go for it, but don't burn yourself out. And especially if you have health issues going on, or like if you need to kickstart, for example, your metabolism or something, start slow, pace yourself, but be consistent and don't lose the fun of it.
Mm,
It should be enjoyable. But yeah, if you can do strength training every day and you break it down into different muscle groups, that's a little bit more advanced.
mhm,
Go for it. Yeah, you have like 1 day legs, 1 day core, 1 day arms. It's always something different,
mm,
it's fun to create different workout plans. But
mhm.
yeah, so many options, so many options. Of course, yeah, you can play. Just do
Okay.
something.
Okay. So what does strength training even look like? What is it? So like,
Okay.
is it using machines? Is it using dumbbells? Like what is strength training? Like someone goes, they join the gym and they walk on the gym floor and they're like, now what?
Exactly. Yep. That's a very good question. Um, okay, if you're a beginner, I always like to train the whole body, meaning you have one exercise per muscle group.
Mhm,
And if you don't know anything, the machines are intimidating. I know. The machines help you just to do the right movement. They guide you, but they only train the main muscle. I like, and to be honest with you, my clients, they train from home and I come to the house and we do dumbbell work or their own body weight. Sometimes, trust me, doing a push-up is hard for somebody, and we have to work our way up to do a push-up. That's your own body weight. So there are plenty of exercises you can do. And dumbbells I like because you use way more muscle than you get more bang for your buck. The machines, just like I said, have the major muscle group, and it's not really training your mobility, your flexibility. The dumbbells are more advanced, but if you can start with dumbbells and don't go too heavy, And yeah, that's like a good starting point. Like I said, you can even do it from home. Gyms are great if you are not afraid, yeah, joining and trying things out.
Mhm,
I would actually get a personal trainer at the beginning just to learn the right form so you're not getting injured. That's important. And always have the right form first before you increase the weight.
mhm.
Um, yeah, you work your way up. Mhm.
Okay.
Start with higher repetition, lighter weight at the beginning, so you feel your body first. It's very important when you do an exercise that you have a muscle-mind connection. You need to know which muscle you're training, so you're actually activating the correct muscle. If I remember, I had one time a client, we worked out back the whole session, and she told me she feels really good. Her chest is all pumped up. I'm like, wow, we didn't even train chest. So totally disconnected. Totally disconnected. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
it's important that you actually know what you're doing to activate. And this is very interesting with core, for example. Um, the core has different muscles. There are the abdominals, the six pack we all think of and know of, but there are also the transverse muscles. The transverse muscles are behind and they go west east.
Mhm,
Abdominals go south north. So the transverse muscles are more isometric exercises, pulling in, holding, just by exhaling and pulling the navel in and holding it in is training your core. But this is the transverse muscle, what gives you a smaller waist.
mhm.
Different. You don't
Okay.
really need a abdominal machine. Just exhale and hold it in as long as you can. Pull it in as hard as you can and do this daily and you get good abs. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a good way of starting and it's hard.
Yeah.
All, give it all. And this is simple things and you can throw them in and sprinkle them in between different things you do during the day.
Nice. Okay, okay. So you're giving us little tips, insider tips too about the abs and so on. And you also let us know that we can use our body weight. We can start off with our body weight for strength training, because sometimes we have our mind like when we think of something, like if you think of yoga, you just may think of this, but yet there's so much more to it. And when you think of strength training, you may just think of like, oh yeah, and
Yep,
dropping the weights to the ground and yeah. So
truly. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
No, not at all. Just hold a plank.
yeah,
Yep.
just
For a
hold
minute.
it.
Yeah, for a minute. That's a great one too. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like this is how you start. And um, oh my God, of course there are the squats, the deadlifts, and all and do them. But if you feel, oh my goodness, this is too overwhelming, just holding weights and standing up from a chair and sitting down is for some people hard. And that's a good one. And do 20 of them in a row or do it
yeah.
for a minute. Yeah, you will feel the heat. You know what I'm saying? So there are many options, and I'm always uh, when I hear my clients when they start out, again, the mindset, they feel scared, overwhelmed, intimidated, and then when we get started and they actually experience it, they're so much more like excited about a workout, and this is a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's something we say in yoga, it's called honor where you're at. So like you were saying about like it may be just enough for you to get up to the chair and back down again. So being mindful of that, because sometimes we may start Googling videos and looking at stuff, and maybe it may not be where we're at today, but to just honor where you are at. And then as you keep showing up, then one day you'll be to that, core that crazy core video that you saw 6 months ago, and now you're able to achieve that. But for today,
Exactly.
it just may be doing the exhale with your breath and holding on.
Yep, yeah, absolutely.
So
And the
yeah.
other thing, yeah, is too that you cannot out exercise a bad diet.
Okay. Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Like what foods, should we be focusing on for the muscle?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, good question.
To build muscle, to focus towards the muscle. Of course, we know I Or I would think, I guess the reminder is, try to limit as much processed food and eat as clean as you can and so on. But if we're looking to just kind of gear towards the muscle, what foods should we like pay attention to?
Okay. Um, it's not only what kind of food, it's also the portion.
Mm,
Um, so number one, of course, it's protein. The protein is the building block
mm,
for almost everything in the body, but it's mainly for the muscle.
mhm,
Now, there's so many different protein sources out there. And the interesting thing is if you look at a food label, you see in carbs how much sugar, how much fiber, you see in the fat, unsaturated fat, saturated fat, trans fats. If you look at protein, it just says protein. And this is not quite correct because this is a little bit more into science. I just want to put it out there, but you need a complete protein, meaning all the essential amino acids
mhm,
have to be in that meal in order to trigger muscle protein synthesis. Okay.
mhm,
So I was plant-based for the longest time. And what happens is though, especially in plants, it's not a complete protein. And unfortunately, you're missing leucine. And leucine is the one amino acid was actually triggers building muscle. Now, if you have you have to combine different plant proteins in order to make it complete.
mhm,
Never ever have just one source of plant protein. Any animal protein, we're talking about, yeah, meat, fish, seafood, eggs, it's always complete. Whey protein powder, for example, if you want to go into the supplement direction,
mhm,
always a complete protein, so it triggers the muscle to grow. So in the gym or during your workout, you're breaking the muscle down. You're not actually growing anything or improving anything. You are actually targeting the muscle. So you're signaling, hey, I need to get better to master whatever we just did. I have to grow, I have to repair. So now the meal decides if this is going to happen. If you don't feed the body the right amount of protein, so the right protein and the right amount of protein, nothing will happen. This, you won't be successful. So having a ton of tiny little meals during the day is actually the worst you can do for the muscle. Having 3 robust protein meals is the way to success because you need at least, and like I said, this is a high number, but at least 1 gram per pound body weight of protein. Lean, like body weight where you want to be. Okay.
mhm,
Your goal weight. So a meal is usually for women, 30 grams of protein at least, which is a high amount. And most of my clients don't eat that much protein. So you
mhm,
really have to up the game. And the RDA, the recommendations in the US are lower, way lower.
mhm,
So this actually needs to change. If you want to build muscle, don't shy away from protein. And if you're plant-based, make sure that you combine different proteins. Like I know just in plant-based protein powders, for example, they like to use the pea protein, the rice protein, the hemp protein, and they make a combo so it's complete. So they got it down. But like I said, you want to have a complete amino acid profile in order to trigger muscle protein synthesis. I know this was a
mhm.
mouthful, this was a lot,
Yeah.
but what you just have to remember is have at least 30 grams of protein per meal as a general like baseline and have 3 robust meals. Don't go and have little snacks here and there and don't even bother. Just 3 robust meals, very easy, simple. Don't
Mhm.
overemphasize it, but it has to be good quality. Yeah.
Okay, so you said meat is basically the protein. So what does 30 grams of protein look like on a plate?
Um, yeah, that would be like 4 ounces of beef or chicken.
4 ounces?
Um,
Okay.
If you, yeah, this is also a thing I always recommend to get a food scale at the beginning. I know it sounds a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but it's surprising how quickly you can eyeball your portions.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find, like
Yeah,
it.
once you start to understand what 4 ounces of chicken looks like, then you can just, yeah,
Yeah,
like you're like, I got this, you know.
yeah,
No need to
absolutely.
measure. I'll just sprinkle it. So for the plant-based, what does 4 grams of protein on the plate look like?
That's well, good question, because the problem is with the plant-based, it always has like a lot of carbs with it. I actually did one time the math with quinoa, and it was a ridiculous number. It was like 12 cups of quinoa, and I would have reached my protein intake. Like I can't even eat that. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying? But tofu or something, or soy protein, if you like that, same amount, 4 to 5 ounces. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And tofu, that's the only option. What
No,
about beans?
and yeah, beans are fine again,
Mhm.
but I would use them as an addition because they're not complete. It's not a complete protein. They have aminos, they
Mhm.
have a protein, they are,
So
how
you
to
have
say,
to get like two proteins that marry together, they complete each other.
correct.
So what two proteins on a plant-based plate would marry each other or look good together or work together?
Yep. Um, for example, rice and beans. That's
Okay.
a very interesting combination because it's such a traditional food. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
good, very good combo. Like I said, I like tempeh. I
Mm.
use tempeh with beans, peas and beans, different kind of beans. You can mix them. And like, for example, garbanzo beans, super high in protein, edamame, super high in protein. But like I said, I always put in some eggs or something like to up the quality. Plant-based is just very difficult. What you also can do is have your plant-based protein source and just use branched chain amino acid as a drink beforehand. So
What
you drink,
drink? What,
yep.
no, say that again.
Yeah, it's branched chain amino acids, BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. And this is a supplement. It has the four smallest amino acids, which we are missing in the plant-based protein. They just there, and you drink it with the meal to
Oh, okay.
basically,
Oh, so it's a supplement. Okay.
it's a supplement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
A
so
little trick to get by to not make it too complicated, you know?
okay, so another thing I heard about proteins and working out, I hear that you supposed to have a protein, let's say shake or something 20 minutes after you do your workout so it can lock in the workout or lock in all the work you just did at the gym, like it's just more beneficial. What do you have to say around that?
Mhm. Oh, yeah. That's a myth.
It's a myth.
So the important thing is this is how you recover the best and how you can prime your body the best. When you wake up in the morning, that's when the muscle is primed. That's when you have to have a really high protein meal, the first meal of the day. It doesn't have to be the breakfast at 7 a.m. If your first meal is at 12, for any whatever reason, it's the first meal of the day. Now, if you can have a protein shake right after workout because the timing is good, go for it. But the important thing is that that day you have to have your protein amount, your target,
Mhm.
whatever that is, fine. It's interesting too. In the evening, you can have a high protein meal as well. The body response is really good because during the night you have a very long time with no food. So I like to have a high fiber with my dinner just to slow down the digestion during the night. So the release of the protein is slower. But other than that, yeah, you have to have the protein goal per day. And like I said, of course, you cannot handle 100 grams of protein in the dinner meal and that's it, like all the protein at night. Like spreading it out in 3 meals is ideal because the body can only handle a certain range of protein per meal. But yeah, no, have it with the timing after the workout. It's not necessary, or it's not like a game changer. Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying the best time to really jumpstart, the protein eating would be first thing in the morning, like so that your
Mhm.
first meal. And do you
Yeah.
suggest that sometimes do you suggest working out before the first meal? Because a lot of times people may want to work out first thing in the morning, then they come back and then they eat. Like, what's your suggestion, or is it just very individual?
Um, to be honest with you, it's how your lifestyle is. I
Mm,
work out before I get started. Um, if I would have an option, I would rather have a meal beforehand and work out at 10 a.m., but then I'm at my job. So
mhm,
I can't do that. So I work out in the morning on a empty stomach and feed after
mm,
the workout, the muscle. So it doesn't harm the muscle growth or muscle stimulation, or it doesn't set you back. It's just what your lifestyle is. If you prefer to work out at night, go for it. I just think if you work out at night, if it's too late, you have too much going on, you're jacked up basically, and you're not getting a good night's sleep. And
mhm.
the recovery during the sleep hours is important. You can't just not have a good sleep. Like this is huge, huge, huge,
Mhm.
huge.
Now, do you have any suggestions for a muscle recovery? Because you start lifting those weights or move, just working out, then you're like, oh, I'm sore. I mean, once you start becoming consistent, you don't really necessarily feel the soreness as much unless you start working a new muscle group. Then you're like, oh, I really feel that. But what is your suggestion? Because sometimes that can like stop people and be like, oh, I'm too sore. I don't feel like going back and doing this again.
Right. Oh yeah, that's huge. To be honest with you, the recovery is all about like the good diet,
Mm-hmm.
like really have the right amount of protein again for recovery. And don't cut out all the carbs and all the fats. It should be balanced. Small amounts, but have it. Have it for sure. You need to have, for example, for recovery and getting the inflammation out, is omega-3 is super beneficial. So
Mm-hmm.
always have enough omega-3 fatty acids to get the inflammation out of your system. Another, again, what I just mentioned is sleep. So important. Oh my goodness. People underestimate how important it is to sleep. And I love my Aura ring. I don't know if you heard of it, but it
It's
measures your sleep.
the sleep and the HRV, or
No, the Aura ring.
oh
It's a
yeah,
ring.
the black one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I heard about it for the HRV, the heart rate variability.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but okay, it does multiple things.
Yes. 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 I mean,
Okay.
HRV is super important. That's the indicator if you're actually recovering.
Mm-hmm.
If this is down, very, very low, you're not recovering properly. You
Mm-hmm.
want it high, high, high up. Now, with the Aura Ring, you can actually see your light sleep, your REM sleep, and your deep sleep. And the deep sleep, that's when the body recovers. That's when the body heals. And that's major. And I mean, I just love numbers. That's the banker in me. Never left me. But I want to see like how my recovery is, and I want to see how the deep sleep was, the REM sleep was. So sleep is super, super important for recovery. Hydration, super, super important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, want to always hydrate the muscle um, for best functionality, and that's also for recovery. I mean, if you get really, really sore, sometimes I just do like an Epsom salt bath at night. And what I really love, and this is just a self-care thing, at night after I shower, I spray magnesium oil on a sore muscle, and the magnesium oil just helps the muscle to relax and recover a little bit better. And it's just a nice little ritual in the evening before I go to bed. And you cannot overdose it. You can use it daily. It's just a nice little thing to do. Mhm.
Wow. You've given us so much information to work with today. So much for us to really get started. Is there anything else you wanted to share that we didn't cover in reference to the muscle and protein and all that we talked about?
Actually, we covered a lot of stuff. Yeah, no, I mean, it's it's plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're so informative, and I know you're such an amazing coach. So like, we live in the virtual world now. Like I know you do people in person, but do you also do virtual coaching as well too?
Yes, I do. And I have an online course as well if somebody wants to get started and yeah, learn about mindset, training, nutrition, stress management, recovery. I have a course as well, but I do online training as well. Yeah.
Okay, so like online personal training. So if someone's like, okay, I'll need to get in the gym and start this strength training, or I need to get in my living room and start this strength training, you're able to what does that look like? Is it like a one-on-one session, or you just like kind of like create a package for them and they kind of like arrive to it when they arrive to it? Like what does it look like?
No, if they want, it's a one-on-one session. We FaceTime, and I actually watch you doing the exercises for an hour, half an hour, whatever time you have. Yes, it's one-on-one. And like I said, I have courses as well. These are
Mhm.
different options, but yeah, I do the one-on-one as well.
Okay. So I guess we have to check you out or go to your website and get more resources on what we need to do to just start get the wheel going. And then once we
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, then once we start, then it'll start to reveal, the next door and the next door and so on. But
Exactly.
yeah, but before I let you go today, I would love for you to share what does becoming unique mean to you?
Oh, becoming unique mean to me. I think to live your authentic self because everybody is unique
Mhm.
and we don't acknowledge it enough and we put our light down and I want everybody to shine and bring out the light. Mhm.
I love that. Yes. Okay. I love live our authentic self, and it's okay for all of us to shine because we're all one of a kind.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you. You have been nothing but pure amazingness. So informative. I'm so grateful for our conversation today. You are amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. You as well.
Yeah. You're welcome.